Back. Here's video 4 as we continue our series of videos helping us to get ready for our final exam. This time we'll be looking at content from Unit 9, Installment Buying. So with no further ado, let's go fire up the visualizer and take a look at some solutions. Okay, Unit 9 starts with problem number 17. All right, now this is a pretty straightforward problem. You've got a down payment and you're willing to take a down payment of $800 and you're affording a payment set of $250 each month for 12 months. Now, if you add the cash, you can make the purchase for $2,500. The problem says if you don't pay cash, how much is your finance charge? How much extra will you pay by making your down payment and series of monthly payments? So first of all, let's take 250 times 12. And we'll find out over that 12-year or that 12 monthly span, we would wind up paying $3,000 plus the $800 down. So technically, if we take the finance deal, the merchandise would cost us $3,800. We could have bought it for $2,500 cash. So the difference in those two represents your finance charge. You guessed at $1,300, and we would have gone ahead and solved for the SOFA finance charge on problem 17. Moving to 18. Now 18, I chose to draw a little thing here to help us. A lot going on this problem. You've got a billing date of 3/19 where your previous balance was $900. Okay, so we're going to start with a current balance of $900. And we're going to figure out how many days that we actually owe $900. Well, we only owe $900 until that first payment comes in on the 26th. Now, it happens to be 7 days past from 19 to 26. So on our left side number of days, you see the 7. The extension on the right side is just the number of days times the balance. So 7 times 900 is $6,300. Your next change in your balance occurs on the 30th of March. All right, and that's a charge of $200. So, all right, what's going to happen to our $900 that had gotten diminished to $500 as a result of that first payment of $400? Our $500 is going to be increased. So we have actually added to our debt a charge of $200. So our next number in the current balance number would be 500 getting increased to 700. And that change took place, if you noticed, 4 days later. So for only 4 days did we owe $500. So the extension on the right side is 2,000, which is 4 times 500. So, all right, we're up to now owing $700 on our revolving charge card. And our next change takes place with a payment on 4/4. So if you go and figure out March has 31 days, 1 day in March plus 4 more is 5. So for a total of 5 days, we owed $700. 5 times 700 gets you the extension on the right side of 3,500. All right, well, what was that change? It was another payment of $100. So again, that middle column, you'll see the amount that we owe decreased from 700 to 600 because we paid back 100. All right, so you say, well, all right, well, what do you got going on? Well, later on, we're gonna basically take a loan and we're going to take a cash advance, but we're going to do that in 10 days. So from the 4th to the 14th is 10 days. So for 10 days, all right, we had a $6,000 balance, or I'm sorry, $600 balance. So that extension is 6,000, which is 600 times 10. The biggest part of that, I think you got to be awake on these problems, is you're told up front how many days are in the billing cycle. And in this problem, we were to assume a 30-day billing cycle. So if we add 7 and 4 and 5 and 10, we would have a total of 26 days. So, all right, what was your last transaction? Well, dang, we took money out from an ATM probably to the tune of $300. So our amount, our balance is, we now owe that 600 plus 300 more. So $900 until we end this billing cycle, which is 4 days. From 30, take away 26 and get you the last entry 4, which is kind of cryptic, I think. So you gotta be careful on that. Get you your last entry on that extension by taking 4 times 900 and 3,600. To find your average daily balance, you need to total the left side day column. Well, shoot, we already knew that was 30. And you need to total that right side extension. That's 20,800. So we'll take 20,800, we'll divide by 30. and the average daily balance that we owed on that card would be $693.33. And that, my friends, is the final solution for problem number 18. Let's move to 19. We'll get a new stack of answers coming your way. 19 coming up. All right, he buys a home computer for $24.99. He's going to pay $400 a month until the purchase is paid off. It's a 1.5 interest charge per month. All right, and the question says, what's his outstanding balance? How much does he owe at the end of 1 month? So again, notice that he's going to pay $400. But as we saw in previous problems, the first part of his payment goes to process interest charge. So we'll calculate his interest charge for that first month by taking the amount that he owes, which is $24.99, multiplying by 0.015. Remember, that's an interest charge per month. So for that first month, he owes $37.49 in interest. If he paid $400, the balance of that $400 goes to decrease what he owes. So the principal reduction on this problem we can find if we take $400, which is the amount of his payment, and subtract the $37.49. So we find $362.51 of that first payment goes to repay money he borrowed. What we've been asked to find is what's his outstanding balance at the end of that first month. So we'll simply take the $24.99, which was his original debt amount, and we'll subtract the $362.51, and we find that at the end of that first month, he still owes $2,136.49, and that is his outstanding balance at the end of month 1, and as such, it's our final solution for problem number 19. Okay, problem number 20. For the first time, we're going to have to use our payment formula, and it's kind of grotesque. And again, if you get intimidated by calculating and you have this overriding urge to try to round off too early, I might recommend the the Desmos calculator. Check it out at desmos.com. It at least lets you see everything you're entering. It's my students have found it a little bit easier to use, I think. All right, what do you got going here? We're going to borrow 80%. All right, so be careful. He's buying a car which cost $18,000, but he's not borrowing all $18,000. In effect, he's borrowing 80% of that. It's 20% down. So $14,400 is his amount borrowed. That's his present value of that loan. It's a 60-month loan, 8% for the year. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, 8% for the year. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to calculate this thing monthly. Remember, these formulas drive monthly. So your interest charge, your value for I, is going to be that 0.08 divided by 12. All right. And the number of payments that you're going to make is 60. So N shall be 60. And again, I know it's an ugly looking formula. There's no doubt about that. But again, please resist the urge to round until the bitter end of this. And if you do everything correctly, you should find that his monthly payment to make that car loan would turn out to be $291.98. And that, my friends, is the final solution for number 20. It wraps our work on Unit 9, and it's going to wrap the video for it's going to wrap video 4 here. I'll be back in a bit with one more video to take care of the content from Unit 10. See you then.